Hello and welcome to the Corgi Town USA podcast. As always, I'm Candy. This is Kat back from vacation.
I am back from vacation. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and Digby's here and Wiggins here, and they missed you while you were on vacation.
They did miss me while we were on vacation. Absolutely.
Yeah, they missed their owners.
But they had their lovely pet sitter sitting in with them. So shout out to Sabrina. She's fantastic.
Mhm.
She
One of our past guests,
right? No, not that Sabrina. Different Sabrina.
Different Sabrina. Just
different.
kidding.
Yeah. So Sabrina is absolutely fabulous and stayed here with them, and she loves and the cat Naboo, and loves them and all the chickens.
All the chickies.
It's a flippin' farm here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a full-on farm.
Menagerie.
Yes. But we're back.
We're back. And we're so excited for season 2. So welcome back, our faithful followers. Chuckles is in my lap, and it is his birthday today as we're recording.
Happy birthday, Mr. Chuckles.
Happy birthday, Chucky.
My little pup Few is turned 3 today.
3. He's 3. He's 21.
He's 20. Yeah. In dog years, he can start drinking.
Yeah.
And my boy turns 3 in November.
Mm-hmm.
So they are sort of twins.
Almost-ish.
They are brofers.
Yeah. Yeah. So we should have a big knockdown Corgi drag out party.
I think we should.
Yeah. So bring all the chicks for Digby to flirt with.
Oh my gosh. My boy is just Casanova. Yes. Our guest has a little girl, and Candy said, "Oh, look, Chuckles, you can have a girlfriend." And Chuckles did not care. However, Digby was like, "What? Wait, what? Another one to add to my harem?"
Hello, ladies.
Hello there.
A harem of ladies.
Yes, that's right. Not just corgis, but
yeah,
anyway.
Not just corgis, not just ladies.
Yes. My son is bi.
Yeah.
And I love him.
You know what? We support, we're big supporters of the LGBTQ community.
That's right.
Corgi or not.
Corgi or not.
So anyway, as we're good at digressing, welcome back. We've missed you. Yeah. We if you don't follow us on TikTok, you should. We have a special happy birthday Chucky video that we uploaded today for his birthday.
Excellent.
So shoot us a like, go and comment, wish him a happy birthday.
That's right.
But I'm excited for anyone who is a Corgi fan. You likely follow Team Corgi either on Instagram or Facebook.
Yes.
And I got started because there was a little Corgi named Mack that was part of Team Corgi, and I just loved him to pieces. He, I believe, was a tricolor, and he had some sable markings, so it reminded me a lot of Lilo. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the legendary Mack, and we're going to talk to the artist creator of Team Corgi. So should we bring Michael on?
Absolutely. Let's bring him on.
Let's bring him on and ask him. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time today. Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to opening all this up and talking about all this delicious Corgi art that you partake in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
That's awesome. We have some questions.
Yeah.
I want to know, so I can talk all day about how I got started with corgis. And Michael and I actually had a conversation yesterday about how it's kind of a cult.
It is a little bit of a I'm on the outer fringes of the cult.
But you're still in it.
I'm still in the cult. I'm still.
You attend the meetings.
I attend.
You drink the Kool-Aid.
I drink the Kool-Aid. I attend the meetings, but I do spike my Kool-Aid a little bit, so I'm not completely cultified yet.
Oh, we all do. Just some of us admit it.
Yeah.
And some of us don't. Anyway, there we go again with the digression. So we talk about this getting started with corgis, and so I love to tell the story, and we tell our story all the time. But Michael, please tell us your story. How did you get started with corgis? What interested you? Tell us how that got started.
Yeah, I can tell you exact time. It was December of 2015. I just bought my first house, and I was sitting there on my couch going through YouTube as we all do. And I kept seeing these little dogs with short legs and big ears. And I remember I texted with my buddies. I'm like, it'd be kind of funny if I got a corgi. Like I don't think I'd really heard of them before. And lo and behold, like I went to work and I asked my coworker, like, hey, do you know anyone that needs looking to rehome a corgi? And she did. One of her best friends was looking, and that's how I came across Mack. It
That
is
is really
nuts.
lucky.
That is not lucky. That is meant to be.
Synchronicity.
Yes, that is. I'm sorry. That is Saint Francis. And you don't have to be religious or whatever, but everybody
Nope.
knows Saint Francis, all the animals and everything.
Yeah.
And I think he played a little bit of a hand in that because I think Mac needed just the right and perfect daddy.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So that's how it happened. It was really cool.
And serendipity.
Serendipity.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So that's how you got Mac. And that's how you got started. I love this story so much.
Yeah.
Tell us about we're going to talk about your art today, and I'm going to share some links. So there is an Etsy shop, and for our listeners, if you're not viewing on YouTube, it's etsy.com/shop/Team Corgi. And if you go, you can see some of this awesome art. So I want to ask you, tell us about your background in being an artist and how corgis got woven into that. It sounds like maybe you had Mac as a muse.
Yeah, so as a kid growing up through school, I was always considered a good drawer among my friends and peers in my grade. I'm okay, but I was always kind of into art and drawing. And then I actually went to University of North Dakota, and I went there for graphic design and entrepreneurship. And I would never have guessed that I would actually apply both in real life to a little side project, a little bit side business. I just always kind of been in the art, drawing. And then when I started Team Corgi, just started using like Illustrator and stuff, and slowly, I mean, you should probably see some of my very first corgis I drew. They weren't very good, but like anything,
there's always an artistic process of developing and perfecting.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like art's so subjective. So whether it's a detailed drawing that looks amazing or like a really simple drawing, and people can like anything. So yeah, that's how I started. And yeah, once I started Team Corgi, I'm like, all right, I would like to try different things and expand my artwork and, you slowly get better or whatever. So that's how it started.
And you were like, now that I have this funny little dog with a long back and big ears and short legs, I'm going to make a muse out of him.
Yeah, it's all started because of Mac. I was Team Corgi all started because of Mac. I would never have thought of doing this if I didn't have a corgi or anything like that. So
isn't that so funny how that's part of the magic of these little dogs, that they're so pivotal in your life. I mean, I feel like most corgi parents, I think probably pet parents in general, but definitely but with the corgi community, they change your life because they bring so much love and magic into it. But it's amazing how they pivot your life. I wouldn't have been working on Corgi Town had I not had corgis, obviously. So, and now you've started Team Corgi because you had a corgi. Like it amazes me. And I hear a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get them and they pivot your life in ways that you wouldn't expect.
Very true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Digby as a muse.
I have Digby as a muse. I have, for me, I think it's in a way Naboo, who's my cat, but she's a tuxedo, and tuxedos are very special. You think it's just a plain old black and white cat, but they have this, and I never realized it until I spoke to somebody else who had a tuxedo cat, a black and white, and they have this personality all their own, and that personality is Psycho Kitty.
I was about to say, aren't tuxedos crazy? Tuxedos crazy.
Yeah, tuxedos are crazy. But yeah, everybody has their own. But I'm crazy. Everyone has their own. Every parent has their own special connection, and I think the corgis are super special as well.
Yeah, for sure. Without hesitation, we can say that. So since we're talking about your art and Mac being your muse and starting to do corgi art, can you tell us about a corgi themed or corgi related project you work on that maybe might be among your favorites?
Yeah, so I can't really pick one, but I can tell you it's the logos 100%. So like people send me pictures of their dogs and like, hey, can you draw my dog? And it's like when I actually complete the drawing and I'm like, okay, I think this looks like their dog. I think I did okay. And then when they're super excited about it. And I guess also the ones where I do corgis or dogs that have passed on to the Rainbow Bridge, those ones mean the most. Because when Mac passed, I knew what it was like to receive artwork of them. So, and yeah, when I draw someone's dog and they say, "Oh, like, oh my gosh, this brought tears to my eyes," or whatever, those projects mean the most to me.
Yeah.
And then also, as I'm drawing the dog, I'm realizing like, well, so when I received artwork of Mac after he passed, I realize what it means to the person as I'm drawing the dog. So I'm trying to do my best, but I'm putting a lot of thought into it. So.
Oh, how sweet.
That is sweet. That's very touching. I'm getting misty-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a question. So as we're talking about Team Corgi and some of these projects and this amazing work you're doing, what is in the future for Team Corgi for your brand?
So me personally, as far as like, I obviously want to keep everything going that I'm currently doing, just posting and stuff and logos. But my future plans is I want to expand my Etsy store. Just continuously, and that would be more products and more breeds.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then another one that I mentioned to you yesterday on our phone call, the just like getting in more into video content. So like whether it's TikTok or YouTube, that's down the road though. I need a lot more free time to do that. So
there is that whole thing of time. We all have the same amount of hours and seconds in the day.
That's right. What do we do with them?
I don't know what I do with mine. They just kind of go leak somewhere out of a sieve.
That's right.
I think it's because I don't have focus.
That's a whole other podcast and a whole other theme.
Focus. What is that?
Exactly.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I think your art is amazing. I think that you're going to make some amazing video content. So we're here for it.
That's right.
We're going to stay tuned for it.
Absolutely.
So let's get to the really good stuff. Let's talk about your corgis. So tell us the story of Mack. Tell us about, you told us how you got Mack, which is, man, that's amazing. But tell us about Mack's personality. And if you want to talk about what happened with Mack, you can. If you don't, we understand that too. And then tell us about your sweet Cova that you have.
Yeah, so I got Mack back in April 2016. Just a rehoming. I like to, and I also adopted Cova. She was a rehome. So I kind of prefer the rehome, but I totally understand training and having a dog since it was a puppy,
We're very pro rescue here.
I'm definitely pro rescue, but I understand completely if someone wants to have a dog from the beginning. Like that's really special too. So I got Mack back in April 2016. He was, I don't know if you guys, he was like my, Ratchet and Clank. He was just like he always followed me around. Ratchet and Clank's a video game term. But anyways, he always followed me around just everywhere I go. So, we bonded like really, really quick.
Sonic and Miles, if you really dating myself, like Sonic and Miles.
Yep, Tails. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Tails, yep. That's right.
Miles I think that's right. Yeah. Exactly. Actually, I have a bunch of those like duos in my head about what Mack and I were. So
sidekicks.
Yes.
But I guess the funniest things about Mack were how he basically lived under the bed. And it'd be so funny. Like he had beef with the neighbor dog for whatever reason, and he'd be under the bed and the windows and doors would be shut. But somehow he would know when the neighbor dog walked by on the sidewalk, and then you just hear this muffled, how the corgis do their muffled bark with their mouth closed?
That little I'm upset, but I don't have a full bark yet because I'm evaluating the situation.
It's called a poof.
So I'd just be
A
like,
boof.
I would be laying on my bed, and all of a sudden I hear the little muffled bark. It was just so funny. He watched TV and he barked at every single animal, even like CGI fake animals. He barked
He
at.
knew
my
he was a
gosh.
dog. He knew he was a dog.
That's right.
Yeah. So watching Game of Thrones was pretty challenging with him, but barking
How
out the
funny.
wolves and horses, as you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
And so those were the two main things I would say. And then I cannot tell you this, but like enough, but everyone would comment on his tail and how big it was, especially proportionate to his body. Because Mac was like 16 to 18 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Okay.
was tiny.
He was a little man.
Yep,
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Everyone
My
always
brother.
called him petite and slender, but his tail was like huge. And
Like
so
fat or long? Was it cropped?
long. Long probably I would say. Just a big tail.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
So I was always like, oh, okay, because I saw him every day, so I didn't really know. Or notice it, But then just actually a few weeks ago, I finally went through and watched some videos of him. And I was like, because I'm so used to having Kova here, and she has a tail. But it's like,
wow.
I watched Mack's videos and I'm like, wow, his tail is really big. So because I hadn't seen it in a while because I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of tough to watch videos or
Yes.
whatever.
Of course.
So, so I had Mac for 4 years, a little over 4 years, 4.5, I guess. And then, my parents always watched him, and they always watch Kova too. And they live up just like 45 minutes from where I live here in Minnesota. And
grandparents.
yep, they live out in the country, so they have a lot of land. And
Ooh.
so they're great for watching my dogs. you know.
Yeah.
And so, Mac was just up there back on like November 6th is when he passed away, but he was just completely normal, running around my mom as they walked through the yard. And then that's when he collapsed and my parents tried to save him, like
Aw.
panic, but he was pretty much gone right away. And he was only 8 years old, I guess. So that's how it happened. But
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And
it's okay.
We had a brief conversation because you weren't sure what happened yesterday. If anybody listens, I haven't uploaded it to YouTube, but I did a little short for the preseason about So You Want a Corgi, and we were talking about the genetic tests that you need.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then you had asked me, you said, I have a question about this.
Mhm.
But the big three, of course, Hypsonize are always recommended, but
Right.
the big three are the DM, VWD, which is von Willebrand disease, and
My GM pin.
yes, you are. You're right. That's Tawny's Corgi Casey. They went through the DM journey, and that's how she started Shade Out DM. So she also had a muse. And that little pin is her Corgi Casey for Shade Out DM. I'm so glad you wore the Shade Out DM pin.
Yes.
So, so we talked about the DM testing, von Willebrand disease, which is a bleeding disorder, and then EIC, which I don't know that much about. I'm not an expert, but I know you definitely it can be prevented with genetics and genetic testing. Then we know if the dogs are carriers, but it's exercise-induced collapse. And I think it's a heart problem, if I'm not mistaken. But it's where they collapse. And you had asked if maybe that could have been what happened. Because, of course, with rescues, you don't have that history.
Right.
That's one of the things. If you don't get one from a breeder, you don't know what their history is. You don't know where they came from. And perhaps sometimes the person you got them from or the rescue you got from may not have that history. So we don't know. So that could be a possibility. But I am glad you asked about that. Maybe it's a potential closure for you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry to interject. Continue.
Oh, no, but I do we believe that the vet didn't know at the time, and I didn't want to do autopsy. It wasn't, I didn't. So, but we believe it was a heart thing. But I always noticed every time I picked him up. So Mac was like, go, 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 like 1,000%. Like he's completely different from Kova.
Like Digby.
Yeah, but every time I would pick him up, I would always notice his heart was just racing. And that might not mean anything, but it was just something I always noticed.
Right.
And so, I don't know, we believe it was a heart issue that just he had a heart attack or what you're talking about there. And I do know when I pick up Kova, I don't feel her heart racing like Mac's always dead, but they're completely different. yeah, so
Ab-
that's just
That
one
will
thing I
make you
noticed.
hypersensitive to stuff like that, though.
Absolutely.
It really will. I lost a little girl unexpectedly and tragically to kidney disease. And it was like she was fine, no indication, got sick over the weekend, gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but since that, when it comes to how much water goes in and how much comes out of each corgi, you can bet that I pay very close attention to that.
Absolutely. You pay, and
Yeah.
with me, with Naboo, the cat, and with the dogs, I now pay very close attention to their teeth because, as you know, a year ago, I unexpectedly lost one of my cats, my little boy, and the guess from my dear friend and veterinarian, Dr. Eric Cohen, no relation, was that he did have bad teeth, and the teeth are directly related to the heart, and that could have caused the problem. And how I found him, and I don't want to get into the details and everything because I'd come home from vacation, but how I found him and everything was a potential indication of that. So there's so many things that, now I'm hypersensitive to. What do the dog's teeth look like?
Yeah.
What does the cat's teeth look like?
Right.
So I'm hypersensitive to that.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there. And, and I do want to say, no, you don't know if you don't get and even if you get your animal from a breeder, you still don't know, Digby, and that shouldn't discourage you from having a rescue or having, as you do, Candy, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Some rescues, some breeders, because Mack obviously needed a daddy like you to love on him for the years that he was here. And he was lucky he was with his grandparents when he passed, and he wasn't alone, and he was loved on. And I think that's the most important thing that we as humans can do for our little fur and feather babies.
Yeah. You let him run around and live his best life.
That's right.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I met him, and yeah, like you guys said, it was kind of, I believe it was meant to be or whatever. So
yeah.
Well, so tell us about Kova. Then you got Kova.
All right, I'm gonna grab her here
a little bit. There we go. We're going to see Kova. If you are listening and not viewing, you definitely want to go over to our YouTube page to see this episode because you're going to want to see Kova.
She's cute. She's that cute.
Another corgi. We love seeing corgi.
She was sleeping.
Oh, now she's a disapproving corgi because you woke her up from her nap. What a sweetheart. So tell us about Kova. How did you get Kova? How old is Kova? Is Kova red?
Yep, she's red and white.
Yeah.
With a tail.
With a tail, wow.
So after Mack passed November 6th, I took like a couple weeks to, like whatever to recover. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And
to mourn, just like we do with anyone. We mourn.
Yes, exactly. To mourn. And it was like a couple weeks, and I was like, I wanted to look at it like I was ready to love another dog. I didn't want to. It wasn't about me. It was like, well, I can love another dog. Like I can do this. So that was my mindset, is to find another dog to love that needed a new home. And so I just started searching all the dog rescue sites, and I can tell you it was very, very hard because you wouldn't want to get too attached to a dog because they go so quick. I'd go to email about a dog and it'd be gone. So that was one thing that I learned. Then eventually I found her on a Corgi Facebook page from a lady up in North Dakota, and I got her from a farm family. She came from she came from a very good family, so it was a good situation. There's just something that she just had to be rehomed for a certain situation. And so I messaged, I was very fortunate because I have my Team Corgi following. So I have a lot of friends that vouched for me and sent the lady messages.
Aw.
Yeah. So very, 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 very lucky and grateful for that. Yeah. So then Thanksgiving weekend, in November, a few weeks after Mack passed, is when I went up to go meet her. And yeah, that's how I got her.
And she said, you had mentioned before to me that she's quite a bit different from Mac. Almost maybe like polar opposite in a lot of ways, right?
Polar
Very
opposite.
chill and yeah.
I would need a full on chart how different they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
like
fun.
everything, every
She
little
sounds like
quirk.
Hammer. He was
Yeah.
telling me. So my Hammer is very like
Chill, super chill.
Hammer wants a quiet place to hang out. He doesn't like minutia. He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very mellow.
Yeah, so like Mac barked all the time. Kova hardly barks.
Now
Mac,
that is unusual to have a
Yeah,
corgi
that
that
doesn't
very,
bark.
I mean,
very
she
Oh my
does,
gosh.
but hardly ever. And Mac watched
Right.
TV. She doesn't really watch TV. One thing that is a big difference is like I would like flinch my pinky, and Mac would jump off the couch. Like, where are we going? What are we doing?
reactive.
Yeah, 1,000 miles. Where are we going? You know. And for
Yeah.
Kova, I'm like, she'll be on my lap or on my legs, and I'm trying to get up, and she's still laying on me. So she's very. I describe her as like an old soul.
Yeah.
She acts like an old lady, even though she's 3. She'll be 4 September 5th. So coming up
Aw.
here.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like our
Happy early birthday.
happy early birthday. That sounds a lot like our friend Mindy's non-corgi, but Sushi is, I think Sushi's only 3 or 4 years old, but she's like a little old lady, and Mindy calls her a little old lady. So I believe in, dogs having and cats having an old soul
Yeah.
or being new. Yeah.
Well, and Hammer was 4 when I got him.
Right.
And he's always been like that. He's always had the
A little old man.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They have the funniest personalities.
I love it. So does she snuggle?
Yeah, she's a total lap dog. So when we go to my parents,
Aw.
she'll, I'll have some family members up there or whatever, and she'll literally go from lap to lap and like sit on people's laps. So
Oh, she's
Once-
shameless with the snuggles.
she's a little timid at first, a little shy, but then once she does her sniffing and saying hi and her ears go down, when she gets used to you, she'll hop up on your lap like it's nothing. So
Aw.
That is so sweet. I
Very
love
much.
that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank you
Mhm.
for sharing your journey. And thank you for rescuing and giving
Mhm.
both of those babies a home. That's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, we're very pro rescue here. We always tell people, what to look for in a breeder. And listener, viewer, we are here for your resource. If you have questions, we love nothing more for you to reach out to us if you're wondering and thinking about getting a corgi.
That's right.
These are the kind of stories that this is the rewarding process of rehoming, of getting a rehome, adopting a dog. We're very pro rescue. And if you want from a breeder, please ask us what you should look for if you go that route, because we're the same. We don't shame. If you want a puppy, we understand sometimes
Mhm.
rescue is not realistic for everyone.
Right.
But you definitely want to do your research and make sure you're doing the right thing. So I'm going to tell our audience. So we had mentioned before the Etsy page, etsy.com/shop/Team Corgi.
Yeah.
You want to go there, please support independent artists, support your local Corgi people who create art. There's some wonderful art on there. I love the Team Corgi stuff you're creating. And you can also go to teamcorgibrand.com. So we have banners here on YouTube if you happen to be listening and not viewing, but it is teamcorgibrand.com. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming in and telling us about your journey, about your babies, and about your art.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I just wanted to say happy birthday to Mr. Chuckles.
Did you hear that, Chucky? He says
Such a happy
you.
birthday.
He's gotten really good. I had to work with him quite a bit to train him. So Chucky is not quite to Mack's degree how you describe, but he is always on. He's a very engaged fellow.
Yes.
He does chill though. He'll chill out, but he's a very engaged fellow. But he's very reactive like that. If you get up, what do we do? What do we do? Now Mortimer, my youngest, however, he's like kind of how you describe Kova, where he's like, are we getting up for a reason or what's
Do I have to move?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets excited, but he's not reactive like Chuckles, and they're kind of like polar opposite in that way. But anyway, I was going to say that Chuckles I had to work with him to sit in my lap and actually be part of the broadcast. And so now he's gotten where
Yeah.
I have him pretty well trained. And people say, I can't believe Chuckles sits in your lap for this whole thing. I'm like, what?
It was a lot of training.
We had to get there. Yeah, we
Yes.
had to get there. But now it's, I say, come on, Chuckles, let's do the podcast. Okay, we're recording today. And he does. He gets up for me and gets in my lap and says, okay. And then he puts his little head on the armrest here and takes his little nap.
And he's good to go.
And he's good to go. Well, thank you for your time, Michael. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll be looking forward to the future of Team Corgi.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I very much enjoyed those stories. How about you?
I did. I love the rescue stories.
You know, and I loved Mack. Reminded me a lot of Lilo. He had kind of that mask that Lilo did. I'm like, oh,
Right.
it's like a mini Lilo, because Lilo was a big corgi.
Yes, Lilo was a huge corgi.
Lilo was like 38 pounds, not fat, substantial. Substantial. But you know, Mack was kind of like a mini Lilo. But anyway, please support local artists. Please go to teamcorgibrand.com. Look at that amazing art. Purchase some. We highly encourage. You won't be disappointed. And as you heard, he does custom work. Reach out to him.
That's right.
Teamcorgibrand.com. So thank you so much for joining us back on season 2 here at Corgi Town, USA. And we will keep you posted, but we are getting closer to opening. So we're getting there. Movement is happening.
Yay.
Can't promise a date yet, but we're getting there. But thank you so much for following our journey. Thank you for tuning in. Please reach out to us.
Can I turn around and show our audience, for those who are watching on YouTube, these fabulous shirts that we have?
Please model them.
Okay.
If you want to go to our website, we actually purchased these shirts. This is our Corgi Town USA, a podcast for pets and their people, and it has Chuckles at the microphone on it. And you can purchase them at www.corgitownusa.com. And a portion of the proceeds go to support Bandits Band-Aid, which they've been a past guest. Carol from one of their representatives was a past guest, but they help vet our pet parents with their vet bills.
Yes.
So we're very passionate about the work they do, and they've done some incredible work saving babies and helping out parents. So yeah, meander over to our website and purchase a t-shirt for yourself, and you can wear Chuckles all around town. He would love nothing more.
That's right.
But thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, and we love having you here. Candy, Cat, Chuckles, Digby, Wiggin,
We're all
Corgi
here.
Town, USA.
Bye.